Premier is here. Premier Heating and Air is offering rebates starting at $1,000 with the purchase of a new heating and air system. Upgrade your system before the summer heat is here. Premier Heating and Air offering free Wi-Fi thermostats included with the purchase of a heating and air system. And now pay just $89 for a system checkup. Experience the Premier difference today. Or log on to dublin.premierishere.com. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company.
Welcome everybody. I'm glad to have with me today Donna Avera, and I feel like I know you. Your daughter and the three of us, you know, we've seen each other on Facebook, and when you walked in the door, it's almost like you was an old friend of mine walking in. So,
well, we've served in different areas of ministry throughout Dublin and Middle Georgia, and I've recently written a book, Passing the Torch. So I appreciate the opportunity of being with y'all today.
Absolutely. Before we get started, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've served in ministry, and I've even served as clergy, and I'm also a widow. I became a widow in 2017, and shortly after becoming a widow, I realized that I was also the matriarch of the family. And when you become the matriarch of your family, you realize that everyone looks to you for the answers. So I started keeping me a notebook of the different things that have happened along the way. And every time something would happen, a certain challenge would come, I would also give the instructions of how to take care of it. After about 5 years of doing this for myself and my children, I realized so many of us, we don't have a will, we don't understand what a trust is, we don't have an advance directive for health care or power of attorney. And so all of those things, as I compiled my own and did research with attorneys and different people in the area, I now have developed it into a workshop, Passing the Torch. The book is written in 2 sections. Section 1 is aging or incapacitated, because we're all going to face these challenges. And then section 2 is upon death. Section 1 covers everything about your advance directive, how someone can help take care of you, and the power of attorney and who is able to take care of you. Then section 2 goes on into planning. You can pre-plan your funeral, you can have your life insurance settled, and everything. It's a wonderful gift to have for your family. Now, in writing Passing the Torch, I was not really concerned about death. I'm ready for death, and everything is going to work out. But I was concerned about becoming incapacitated. What if I were to have a stroke and couldn't talk? What if I were in a car accident and became paralyzed? People need to know how to take care of us. And the book is written in such a way that we just fill in the blanks. But the workshop is, it takes at least 6 hours to go through it. So it's usually a month study. We do it week after week, like every Tuesday in the month, or every Thursday in the month, whatever is convenient for the people in the area. We have workshops coming up now in Soperton and in Dublin for the month of June. They will be in Soperton every Tuesday, and they're going to be in Dublin every Thursday for the month of June.
You know, I read the obituaries every day, and the older I get, the younger people seem to be passing away. You know, I see people in their 20s, 30s. As I told somebody recently, you ain't guaranteed to live long as I've lived.
That's true.
We're not guaranteed the very next minute, much less the next day. But, and the reason I say that, this is not just for older people like I am. You know, people in all ages, we're all gonna die.
True.
You know, I'm not scared to die. I think it's that process sometimes of dying.
However, God tells us that we're all appointed a time to pass, but He doesn't tell us when or how. And everybody, we can walk out to the cemetery and we'll see a lot of young people have passed away. I tell my children, now get your blue book ready, because I don't know listen at this, James. I don't even know how to get into your phone.
Yeah.
Does your family know how to get into your phone? I hear a lot of stories of people passing away, and then they know that their husband has everything on the computer, but we don't know how to get into his computer.
Yeah, well, thank goodness my wife does, and every grandyoungin knows, especially that phone. They know passwords, they know how to get in, and that's another thing. I hear it quite often. I don't have the passwords. You know, I don't know, like you just said, the laptop, computer, whatever, phone, where we keep all these notes and things. Those things you'll learn about in the seminar, won't you?
Yes, you learn about passwords, and another thing that really was an eye-opener in my widowhood is learning about your house. I didn't know the house that I was living in. I had never lived in that town. I didn't know anybody. And it was just a few months after my husband passed away that I went to take a bath one morning and there was no hot water. Well, I knew I got to find the hot water heater and repair the hot water heater. I've looked in every room and every closet and couldn't find the hot water heater. So the house is even one section in Torch of where's your hot water heater, where's the breaker box, where's the water cut off, is there a sewer clean out? All of these things we assume our family knows, even our life insurance and everything like that, we assume our family knows. But James, even if they know all your passwords, when that moment of trauma comes, we don't think clearly.
No.
We don't think clearly, and it's beneficial for us to write it down. We cannot put it in too many places. However, I have learned that when somebody passes away, I'm sure you've dealt with it with your family, your parents, we go into their house and it's like going on a scavenger hunt. What bills are still due? You know, what credit cards do they have? How do we turn off the cable TV? Those kind of things. If you go through the workshop, everything is in one spot. That's what TORCH stands for. Transfer all of your information, your medical, your personal, your financial information, you transfer it all in one spot. And then you organize it in such a way that whenever your family or loved ones, caretakers pick it up, they can find it quickly. You organize it. And you do this, TO, transfer organize, to reduce cost and time, and then CH is to construct your heritage.
You're
It's
definitely
wise.
organized. And we can be too.
Yes, you can.
Now, let me ask something. Listening to you and knowing your history, and you pretty well had on-the-job training. Once your husband passed away, you just had to feel your way through it, didn't you?
Well, I will tell you this. Being in ministry, I sat with a lot of people who had passed away. And I was with people who was losing their spouse. I was with people who lost their children. But it doesn't, when it happens to you yourself, there's a shatter that's inside of you that's unbelievable. And that's when I realized how wise it is to be prepared. We really can't be prepared, but every step that we can take to help our loved ones be prepared, it's a gift. It's truly a gift to them.
Yep, I agree totally. We're going to take a break and we'll come back and talk more right after this.
At Bank of Dudley, we're your community, your bank. And with 7 branches to serve you, there's a Bank of Dudley close by. And there's a familiar face close by. The same familiar faces that you've seen for many years. The same people that you've grown to trust. Because that's what community banking is all about. 7 branches, local people, local decisions, local banking. That's the Bank of Dudley, serving our community since 1905.
You ready to meet the latest addition to the family? The money you saved us with auto owners helped make it all possible. It really is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Excuse me?
Third best thing. Third best thing.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask Curry Maffin Insurance in Dublin and Augusta if auto owners make sense for you.
Welcome back, everybody. We're continuing our conversation with Donna Avera. We are talking about a torch workshop that's coming up. If you've just joined us, we will air this again. Or go to our YouTube channel. Just type in the YouTube bar TV35 and you can pull this up under the News tab and watch it, write down the information, some incredible information about torch workshops that are coming up in Dublin and in Soperton. And if you're watching us over in Dodge County or Johnson or wherever, we can design it for your community, your church, your youth group. You may want to sponsor this. So we're going to give you the information, and throughout the show, you'll see a phone number on there. So all you got to do is call the number and get more information. I know you'll be glad to talk with them.
And let me say that we are doing the torch workshop in Soperton and in Dublin during the month of June. We will be in Soperton at the Senior Center on Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. The classes usually last about an hour to an hour and a half. And then on Thursdays, we will be down at the Mackey Perry building on every Thursday in June. And we will be there. We have two sessions. You can either attend the 11 o'clock a.m. or the 6 p.m. A lot of people are still working, so they need the 6 p.m. class. But for retirees and people who are not working, we can come at the 11 a.m. class. And each class is $200, but it covers everything, all of your medical, personal information, your book, all of your printing of everything. And as well, you will be equipped with documents, all of your life essential documents, such as your advance directive, your power of attorney, your will, your trust, all of that will be covered in Torch. And go to torchworkshop.com. It's all one word, torchworkshop.com. And you can learn more about who we are, how the book came about, and the mission of Torch is to carry the torch, to give the next generation the ability to carry on your heritage.
How long did it take you to put all this together?
It took me about 7 years. In fact, I have been told, Donna, it took you 7 years and you're expecting these people to do it in 1 month? I said, well, I've already organized it for them, and if they'll just listen to me,
you've done the heavy lifting.
Just fill in the blanks now, and you'll be ready. In 1 month, you'll have everything together from now until.
And I know you would have loved to have had something like this. You could have been.
Oh, yes. Many times I have said, I wish someone had written it down for me that I didn't have to go hunt things. Yeah. Yes, sir.
What are you learning from the workshop with the people that are coming? I know you learn from them also. What are you hearing? What are you learning from them?
I'm learning different stories. It's the one challenge in the workshop is that I'm trying to teach, but everybody wants to tell me their story. But every time I hear a story, I learn a different approach. And each group is different. I like to have groups of about 10. That way they're easy to work with, and usually they are able to talk, and we can share our stories and learn from them.
And that's important. A lot of times, and you know, in ministry as I do, a lot of us listening, letting people talk it out and talk through it.
That's true. That's true. I have done workshops now around the Savannah area. I'm now presently in Brunswick area, and that's what I plan on doing. I love to camp, so I take my camper and I travel around and go around to see my friends and do the workshop.
Where'd you get, I know Renee had told me you just all of a sudden started camping. Where'd you get the love for camping at?
Oh, I loved camping even as a kid. I grew up out in the country on a farm. I grew up in a family of 7, and we camped in the backyard. Yeah. But as I grew up, of course, I wanted a camper to travel. I've always been the kind that I like to go, and I have friends in several places. And in serving in ministry, of course, we're all over the state of Georgia. So we've been traveling.
What is the hardest part? I know talking to hospice, one of the most difficult things they have is talking the children in. The individual is ready to go, but hospices, the children or the husband or the wife, whoever, won't let go. And they just have to go in and teach them to go in and say, Mama, it's okay. It's okay. You know, Daddy, whoever, it's okay. What do you think about that?
Well, I think the challenge for everybody in every area of life, we don't want to talk about death. We don't want to talk about we don't want to talk about the time that we become ill or start going down or aging. We fight aging.
Yeah.
We don't want to age. We don't want to get sick.
Too bad.
We certainly don't want a stroke. And so we don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
So that is a challenge because those are very important things
Yeah.
that very possibly could happen and certainly is going to happen. Let's try to be prepared.
Yeah, it's a big mistake not to talk about it.
True. That is true. And it's nothing to be afraid of.
No.
And it's not morbid. We need to talk about it in order to help one another through the
Yeah.
process.
Death has no sting to those who believe.
Amen.
And that's what I hope is coming out of these workshops, because some people, just the odds are some people are lost that are in there. They're not saved. They don't have a personal relationship with Christ. So you have that opportunity with a background in ministry to be able to help them with those things. And I'm sure you do from time to time.
Well, throughout the book, Scripture is in there. And throughout the Bible, inheritance is taught. If we want to be Christ followers, look at the heritage that Jesus gave us.
And I think about John 3:16, you know, if it just said, for God so loved the world, it would have been a beautiful verse. But he didn't stop there. He goes on to tell us he gave his only son. I couldn't do that.
And the verse 17 says that he didn't come into the world
Yeah.
just to save. He came into the world for this purpose.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
this purpose.
We don't have to fear that. Like I said, you know, we do fear the process. I had a preacher one time said, I'm not scared to die, but if you're getting up a load right now, I don't want to jump on it.
Amen.
And I
Yeah,
think
well,
that's
that's
how
true.
we are.
That is true.
And God gives us a will to live, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, we want to live. But there's going to come a day, I know many people, I have sit and held people's hand that died. I have been there by the bedside. I've watched them take their last breath. So we are all going to die. And it is not morbid, not even close. We must be prepared.
Well, again, like I said, it's not necessarily about death, but it's about living.
Yeah.
And having a quality of life as we age. I mean, we may age. I pray every day that God will let me be able and take care of myself every day that I am alive.
Yeah.
So even in that, we know that we may need help along the way. And we know that somebody's going to need to be the power of attorney.
Yeah.
Torch Workshop teaches you that if you will simply have it written down, you can have some control over your own decisions. If you don't have it written down, the courts will decide for you. And it's not always what you would want.
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes the pressure off the kids or the
Yes.
spouse, because you're telling them what you want. So just that alone, taking that pressure off of them, having to make those decisions.
It takes the pressure off of them. It takes the financial responsibility off of them. But another great thing, because I come from a family of 7, it also decreases conflict and decreases those arguments, because usually your children will honor your wishes.
Yeah.
If they agree with you or not, they will honor your wishes.
Yeah. And that's so important. You know as well as I do, so many families are torn apart when someone dies.
Yes.
And it's so sad that they let things, you know, get in the way that mean nothing.
Well, we have to remember we're only here for a short while
Oh, yeah.
ourselves, everybody.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be an argument.
No.
Let's
No.
enjoy everything of everybody's and
Yeah.
enjoy each other along the way.
And I say, you know, we're all homeless because this is not our home.
That's true.
We're just passing through here. And, you know, I went to a birthday party of a woman, 106 years old. I've known many people to live to 100, 99, 100. And to us, that's a long time.
It is.
But all of eternity, and I think about that last verse of Amazing Grace, when we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise when we first begun. That's a long time. Eternity is an infinite amount of time.
Yes.
It's never ending.
True. That's true. And with you mentioning birthdays, it makes me think about our wishes.
Yeah.
We all have stood around a birthday cake and everybody's saying, make a wish, make a wish. And then we're told, don't tell your wish so that it'll come true.
Right.
Well, in the Torch Workshop, I'm telling you, write your wishes down.
Yes.
Let people know what you wish to happen to yourself, where you would like to live, how you would like to be treated, the things that you like, things you don't like. If I were to become where I couldn't speak, I need you to know that I don't like onions.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
simple things.
Yeah.
I like my feet warm at night.
Yeah.
Simple things that people don't know about you. Write your wishes down. And then write your wishes down along the way of who you would like to be your caretaker. Which funeral home would you like when that time comes?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not only for passing, but it is also for incapacitation and aging.
Well, I want your onions.
Okay, I'll give them to you.
But see, those are things that you don't even think of.
We don't.
They just never cross your mind. But we are going to die unless we get raptured up before that. And of course, even then, the dead in Christ will rise first. But wouldn't it be great to get raptured, you know, when you're here on earth, like sitting here now, whatever, and all of a sudden, and I tell people, I've preached on the rapture many times, that I tell people, I said, it's going to happen in secret, and they don't understand. I said, the reason I say that, it's not going to be on the news this morning, say at 2 o'clock this afternoon, the eastern sky is going to split wide open. But the next day, after we've been raptured, it's going to be news everywhere because all these people are going to go missing.
That's true.
And we're going to be those people, and I hope you're going to be those people that are listening to us right now. I hope we'll all be together and we raptured and we spend all that eternity with Christ.
That's true. And those are the lessons that we even teach our children along the way.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we're going to take another break. We'll come back and wrap things up.
First Lawrence Bank invites you to experience banking at its best. Whether you have personal or business needs, we're a full-service bank big enough to handle all of your banking needs and small enough to provide you with that personal touch you've grown to expect from a community bank like First Lawrence Bank. Looking forward to your future. That's First Lawrence Bank in Dublin and Dexter, member FDIC.
Hi, we're Dion and Gary Lanton. We're the new owners of Luann's Biscuits and Burgers. We want to invite you guys to come out to our newly renovated dining room. We're open 5:15 a.m. through 10:45 a.m. Monday through Saturday for breakfast. We now offer delivery and pickup online at our website, luannbiscuits.com. You can go through our menu, order anything that we have on the menu right there, have it delivered to you where you are. We're at 1010 Telfair Street. So come on out, the coffee is hot, best in Lawrence County, the biscuits are fresh, the doors are open. We invite you to come back to Luann's.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to kind of wrap things up. We've got Torch Workshops coming up. If you're watching us here in Soperton right now, good news, we're coming to you. And of course here in Dublin. And if you're scattered around Lawrence County, you know, we got over 600 miles of dirt roads in Lawrence County. So there's a lot of people out, you're watching us in those nooks and crannies from Rents and Cadwell and Cedar Grove and Chester. We want you to be a part of this. And you've got multiple times so you can accommodate anybody.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
us about it.
Okay, the who, what, when, and where is the Torch Workshop, and it's taught by myself, Donna Avera, and it is taught from experience. I am not an attorney. However, I have done a lot of research and visited with several attorneys in order to prepare my own book. In the Torch Workshop, we learned Torch, T-O-R-C-H, how to transfer, organize, reduce cost and time in order to construct our heritage. The workshops are going to be during the month of June in Soperton and in Dublin. In Soperton on Tuesdays at 5:30 at the Senior Center. It will be in Dublin. You can choose your time in Dublin, either 11 a.m. or 6 p.m. It's going to be at the Mackey Perry Building on Thursdays in June. And go to torchworkshop.com. That's our website. It's all one word, torchworkshop.com. To learn more about us, to register, you can just text register, the word register, to 912-656-8901. 912-656-8901, or look for us on the website, torchworkshop.com.
Yeah, and the number's been on the screen as we talk. It's going to stay up just a few more minutes while we close out. But, you know, the way I look at it, you're talking about $200. You're not spending that money. I think it's an investment.
It is. A lot of time and expense has gone into putting on the workshops. Right. But when you think about what you get out of it, it's a great value because you're going to have everything transferred into one spot. Your family will not have to go on that awful scavenger hunt. And also you will be equipped with your essential documents that a lot of people have already gone to attorneys and prepared and spent a lot of money for. And hopefully the goal is for us to stay out of probate court. Probate's expensive, takes time. So therefore, if we go through the Torch Workshop, we can prepare and plan, again, to reduce cost and time while we construct heritage.
Yes, and speaking of probate, your money, the assets are tied up for all that time.
They're frozen.
While they advertise it in the paper and all interested parties and all these things go on, it could last months, it could last years.
True.
It's according to how complex your estate is. So how do you live in the meantime? That's what you got to think about. And that's why something like this workshop, Torch Workshop, is so invaluable.
If you take the Torch Workshop, your assets should not be frozen.
That's right.
If you don't have things written down, even your bank account will be frozen at that moment. And like we have said, we don't know when that moment's going to be for anyone.
Yeah.
I encourage young adults as well as the elderly to make sure that they have everything in one spot, in one place.
One more time, the place, the time, and the workshops.
Soperton on Tuesdays at 5:30 at the Senior Center, and then on Thursdays at the Mackey Perry Building. You can choose your times, 11 a.m. or 6 p.m., and those are the dates for June.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to be
Oh,
here.
absolutely. This is wonderful. So call the number, go on the website, whatever you got to do a little more research into it. But we invite you to come be a part of it. In Dublin, you got those 2 times, and also in Soperton. We look forward to seeing you there.
I'll see you then.